Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hello, I hope you stay. If you're a true crime fan, this is definitely where you want to be. Today, I'll try not to say a lot because I know that annoys people. It annoys me when I watch it back. Today is part two of the Chipman Street murders. If you haven't seen part one, then I would head over there and watch that because you're going to be totally confused, not know what's going on. So yeah, there's a warning I want to put in there. YouTube don't like for certain words to be said. They will take your video down, maybe not even put it up. So there's a lot of SA, if you can figure that out. There's a lot of rap with E at the end, stuff like that. It's horrible. This is like one of the most horrible cases. But anyways, I got my notes, so I know that I won't leave nothing out. My last video, the light kept flickering, going off and on, and it was confusing me. I wasn't all the way there, you know what I mean? I want to put out good videos if I'm putting out them at all. I know my last few kind of are silly because I felt weird talking to the camera, but I'm trying to get better at that. So stick around and you will get all the juicy details from this crime I forgot to mention at first. All right. All right, now I'm going to start off with what type of people that Shannon, I think last video I spelled her name wrong. I spelled it with the SH. At one point when it's really CHANNON, I think that's pretty cool. It's a different way. Shannon Christian is her name. And then there's Christopher. He was her boyfriend, Christopher Newsom. At the time of their deaths, she was 21 and he was 23. I know that I heard, or not heard, but read, watched, whatever. He worshipped the ground she walked on. They were both just a beautiful couple. I could see them, you know, growing up together, getting married, having kids. They were so pure and just, I loved them. Loved them. She was absolutely beautiful. Now, her mom said that she wasn't perfect. Nobody was. And usually people will talk about how perfect someone is, but she said she wasn't perfect. But she never gave them any issues. And if there was a perfect version of someone, she would have been it. Like, she was the closest that someone could come to being perfect. Chris, also, she went to University of Tennessee. Chris Newsom, his family said that he was a great guy, never gave them issues. He played baseball and was very good at it. And if his life wasn't snuffed short, I could see him playing, and so could his family in the major leagues. He was just that good at it. Great, actually. Okay, I'm going to start off with the monsters in this case. Just go over dates, what they ended up getting, that type of stuff. We're going to start off with Latalvis Cobbins. He was the half-brother of the ringleader. He lived in Lebanon, Kentucky, along with Vanessa Coleman and George Thomas. They all three lived in Lebanon, Kentucky. And then Eric Boyd and the ringleader, which was Lamarcus Davis. He was the ringleader. Them two lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. Latalvis Cobbins, He was 26, and I believe that's how old he is now. He was really young when it happened. He was convicted January of 2015. He got life without parole, of course. He had multiple charges, so I'm going to read it off this paper. He had multiple counts of first-degree felony murder of Shannon Christian, but he opted for the lesser charge of facilitating a murder, which was in the slang of Christopher Newsom, because he wasn't there. They had took him, like I said, the first video, barefoot, put his socks in his mouth, his own shoestrings tied around it so it couldn't come out, with a hoodie over his head, to the train tracks. Shot him 3 times, 2 times in the back, 1 time in the head. The second shot severed his spine. The third shot was his fatal shot. Instantly, got rid of him. I don't like using that word, but it severed his brainstem. So he didn't get first-degree murder for him, but he did get facilitating a murder. He also got rap and kidnapping. Life without parole, again, if you didn't hear me. Now we're going to talk about his half-brother, the ringleader, they call him, Lamarcus Davis, and he's the one that lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's 28 now. His hearing began on October 29th, 2009 at 9 a.m. Ended the next day by 3 p.m. Jury deliberated for 3 hours. He got death on all counts. He got every single count guilty on all of them because, he rapped both of them. He participated in the death, if not did the whole thing with Miss Christian and Mr. Newsom. I think he rapped him, and if not pulled the trigger, was there when it happened. So he won't be seeing the light of day anytime soon, will he? Okay, George Thomas. He didn't really participate in none of it. He was just there, but he didn't stop it. I think he's 26 now, and he got a lesser charge because he testified against Eric Boyd. I think they were, of course, trying to pin it all on him because he was like the newest friend, I guess. I'll read off of here so I don't get nothing wrong. He got a reduced sentence of 50 years at 85%. He won't be out until after he's 50 in 2064. He's eligible for release in 2049. I guess that would be parole because they said 264, or 2064. The next one we're going to talk about is Miss Vanessa Coleman, and let me take that back. Vanessa Coleman, because nothing about her is Miss. She was 21 at the crime. Now she is 32. She was also one that was from Lebanon, Kentucky. She got facilitating first-degree murder only for Christian Shannon, or no, Shannon Christian, because she wasn't with them when they took him to the tracks and did whatever with him. And she really didn't participate in nothing, but she did nothing to stop it. And when they took him to the railroad tracks to do what they did, she was there alone with Miss Christian and could have let her leave. Could have done something to help that girl and did nothing. She got a 35-year sentence that ends in 2036. Now, last, certainly not least, Eric Boyd. He lived in Knoxville, one of the two that lived in Knoxville. He was there with the ringleader. They both lived there. For 18th, 2009, he was convicted of 2 stacked life sentences. And when he got his charge, he smiled and said, "I'm innocent. I didn't do nothing to nobody." You may not have rapped nobody, but you were sure there when Mr. Newsom lost his life. Now, during the trial, someone that was there had said that the whole time Shannon would say, "I don't want to die, I don't want to die." And this was after she was beaten up, tortured, rapped, all that. "I don't want to die, I'll do anything. Just let me go, please." And at this time, she didn't have her boyfriend. And I'm pretty sure she knew what happened because there was a neighbor that said that he was watching a show at 1:45 and heard 3 consecutive pops coming towards that way of the tracks. And he knew it was 1:45 because of what time the show came on, and also what part of the show was on. So could you imagine being her, hearing them pops, knowing that your lover that you just not even a year been dating is gone? There's no help of him being a hero and saving himself or her. There was no way for him to. So now she was alone, and scared. You can imagine being wrapped by so many people and essayed and just everything. Now, this next part's pretty gruesome, or pretty horrible. Once they were done with her, once they were done with using a human being that they looked at like garbage, they wanted to get their DNA off of her, right? So what did they do? They took bleach and poured it in every cavity. And let me remind you, they kicked the front part, the back part so hard that she had not just bruising or blood throughout the skin here and here and here, but pockets of blood under her skin where they could scoop it out, they said. They poured bleach all over her, in every cavity, and down her throat. They forced her to drink bleach. Alive. She was still alive at this point. Now, imagine this. After that, her hands were bound behind her so tight that there was blood left on her jeans. They put her knees so far up to her like this that even if she didn't have all them bags on her, she couldn't breathe in the way she were. Remember, he broke her neck also, so he put her in this garbage can she couldn't really fit in, but he forced her body in such a way, after tying a Kroger bag over her head and 5 garbage bags over her whole body and her broken neck, and he turned it, contorted it. It was, the garbage bag can was bulging different places. Her knees to her face, pretty much, chest, so tight she couldn't breathe. Even with the bags off, she couldn't breathe. But with them on, she couldn't breathe. Like I said, the autopsy doctor said she would have died within 10 to 30 minutes. 1 minute would be hell. 10 minutes? 30 minutes? Can you imagine? She was so weak she couldn't even rip the bag open. Who knows what type of shape she was in because her neck was broken. Once everything was done and said, the ones that lived in Lebanon, Kentucky was doing whatever they could to get back. They didn't want to be there, you know. They had already got a call from, I think it was around between 1 and 2 p.m. They called the cops about Chris's body. It was still smoldering when the train almost ran him over. And the guy that ran the train called the cops. So their whole street was blocked off. At that point, they were all scared. I guess they didn't plan on someone finding him that soon. You would think someone out of them 5 would have a conscience. But after Davidson, which was the ringleader, left, in Chris's shoes, 9.5 shoes that was too small for him. What a drug dealer, couldn't even afford your own shoes. Left to find Daphne Sutton, his on and off again girlfriend that he had beat up 2-3 days prior. And she left him. And he took her a bag full of clothes in a Macy's bag and gave her a ring. Tried to give her money, but she denied the money. He said he bought her clothes. But she said she could tell they had been worn or used. She did not know the details, though. I think he took Eric Boyd's car. I don't think he was driving Shane and Christian's around because they parked her car 2 blocks down the street on Cherry Street. They took a stuffed animal bear out of there, some family photos. The floorboard was all muddy. Both seats were pushed back, so they knew she wasn't driving, and they knew she wasn't in the passenger seat by both of those. And also, they took a sticker off the back window, like that was going to hide it. Great job, guys. Vanessa Coleman even took some stuff with her home and was wearing it. How morbid and disgusting of a human being do you have to be? She even wrote in a diary 3 days after the murder, and I'm about to read you the paragraph that she wrote. This is why I think she should have she was let off too easy. She wrote, I've had one hell of an adventure, and hell of an adventure was in all caps, since I've been in the big TN. It's a crazy world these days, but I love the fun adventures and lessons that I've learned. It's going to be a long, interesting year. Ha ha. Ha fucking ha, right? Okay, now I'm going to talk about a little bit about how it went down when the friends noticed they didn't come to that party in the beginning. It was 11 p.m. and the friends noticed they weren't there. Okay, lovers sometimes will say they'll go somewhere and then end up doing their own thing. But they weren't even answering their phone. So their friends were getting mad, you know? Like they stood them up and wasn't answering. They also went to the apartment where they were abducted and seen Chris's truck, but not her 4Runner Toyota. I'm sorry, they found Christopher Newsom at 12:20 p.m. That's when they called the cops. The cop that actually found him knew his dad and said, "This is Christopher Newsom. I know him by his eyes." That's about all you can recognize. Get this, her family went to the cops once they found out she was missing because her work called her mother and was like, "Where is Shannon? She never misses," and she just didn't call her nothing. Her mother knew something was wrong at that point because she just wasn't that person. So she calls the cops. The cops are like, they're adults. They're allowed to go missing. So if you're wanting to search right now, then y'all need to do it on your own. So they do. And thank God that little girl's phone service gave the mother the last place it pinged, because some phone services will be like, "I need a police report" or something, and it pinged on Cherry Street. That's when they found her car, and nothing was in it, and it was muddy. They knew something was wrong because she kept that car so clean. They were so sloppy, they found the shell casings, the 3 shell casings that they red rummed Christopher Newsom with in the sunroom. The sunroom was the first part you entered into the house on the windowsill. On January the 9th, they found the Chipman Street house, and it was because they had left all the windows open. There was a smell coming from it. You can only imagine. The cop that first entered that recorded the whole house, you can find videos online. If I can figure out how to link them, I will. I'm kind of new at this, so. But anyways, he remembers seeing that garbage can, and he remembers seeing it bulging at different places, thinking someone was going to jump out at him. So can you imagine when he looked inside of that, seeing her head all? Could you imagine? Just put yourself there. Okay, here's the good. The best things I can end on them, right? I might have to read a little off my notes because it's pretty long. But anyways, they both came up with a foundation in each name, and they both got a law passed. And I'm going to tell you about those real fast. The Chris Newsom Foundation holds an annual baseball tournament at the Halls Community Park. A memorial scholarship is given annually in his name to a graduating Halls High baseball player. Her foundation was the Shannon Gale Christian Memorial Golf Tournament, where established in her memory to provide a scholarship for a Farragut High School senior to attend University of Tennessee. Those were the memorials. Now, they each got, like I said, a law passed in their names. Her law was called the Shannon Christian Act. And it makes it where... No, this was the Christopher Newsom Act. It makes it where no need for a judge's signature on a jury's verdict after a delivery of a unanimous verdict. This eliminates the 13th juror rule, which stipulated that a judge must validate a juror's verdict. Had such a law been placed during this case, the retrials would have been avoided. They wouldn't have had to went through it not once but twice. And I'll tell y'all why. They had to go through it twice. And y'all probably won't be able to believe this. Shannon Christian's father, hold on, let me see. Oh, yeah. Shannon Christian's act is made where a lawyer can't just lie. Like, in the trial, they were making it look like them two kids were at that rundown house to buy drugs when nothing was found in their system. In her system, it was 0.1 alcohol. That's it. No drugs at all. But that's what his lawyer, one of their lawyers, was trying to say. And that's like a slap in the face. If them kids hadn't been through enough, don't let them die and everyone think of them as drug addicts. You know, like, or let me say, don't let them die and let people think that they were actively using and that's why they were there. Because it wasn't. They got carjacked. They were going on a date and then going to a party. Now, I love this part because if you watch any of the trial, you'll see Shane and Christian's dad like this. The whole time, staring at the killer. The whole time. I'm going to read it off this paper. Shane and Christian's father, Gary Christian, speaks at churches, proclaiming how in spring of 2017 he asked God to restore him from his hold on, my foot, I'm so sorry. From his pervasive anger. He presents compelling testimony of how he is overcoming the anger that most East Tennesseans saw played out during the news articles throughout the duration of the new trials and appeals, because they seen the first trial and how angry he was and how different he was during the appeals and stuff like that. October 10th, 2008, they demolished the house, which was great. Mid-February 2011, get this is why there was not one, but two trials for each of them. Mid-February 2011, TBI agents raided Chris Gibson on Gap Road because I believe their first judge, Baumgartner, was how you say it, was illegally buying painkillers from this guy. They said when he was reading the verdict, he couldn't even really read it. He was slurring his words. He was getting names mixed up. March 10th, the judge pled guilty. June 6th, Judge Blackwood ordered new trials. October 31st, Judge Blackwood was replaced with Judge, and he gave them the sentences I read off earlier. And those are the notes that I was being confused with this light going off and on. But at least I got to tell y'all, and I hope y'all really listen to this to the end, because this is horrible. Horrible. The only other case I can think of that really shook me to my core, besides children and stuff like that, I think it was Jeffrey Dahmer, of a victim, and sat it on his nightstand staring at the bed with him and the body that had so that the head could watch, he says, them, and he would also make it talk. Some of these stuff give me nightmares and you wonder why. Anyways, I said I wanted to do a missing case this time. Some people gave me a few good ones in my comment section, and I thank you for that. If I can't get to yours, I promise if you have one that you just means a lot to you, like my last video, please tell me, and I promise eventually I will get to it. Thank you all for watching my videos. Please subscribe. I'm really trying here to make y'all feel like I'm talking to y'all. I want y'all to also comment and let me know how y'all feel about this case. Like, was it one of your worst ones? Do you think they got justice? You know, stuff like that. I love hearing from my subscribers, and I will talk back. I'm one of the people that will read through, and if I see your comment, I will say something back. But anyways, thank y'all so much. I promise the next video I will try to be just as, you know, good at speaking as today. I'm trying. But anyways, I just want to say thank y'all for subscribing, and I will see y'all later. Goodbye.